Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it is so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by. Now, here's JP.
All right, happy Monday morning, everybody. What a weekend for Tampa Bay once again. The mighty Rays make Boston their bitch again, winning 3 out of 2, almost a hair away from getting a sweep. And the Bolts that we were so concerned about heading into the playoffs have now outscored their last 3 playoff opponents 22-7, including a 8-4 bitch slapdown of the stinking Panthers last night. JP Peterson here with you. Welcome to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the law offices of Christopher Palermo. And joining me from Outkick.com, the great Nick Geddes, who's been working all weekend and also watching Tampa Bay do their thing. Hello to you, my friend. Not a bad weekend for the home teams. What do you think?
Not a bad weekend at all. I think a great weekend when you talk about the Lightning. And to me, an A-plus run. A-plus run this past week, what we were waiting to see out of this team. And they waited till the final week of the regular season to do it, but they picked a great time to finally get going. And of course, the Rays. We love our Rays, and we have said a lot of we've been a little bit harsh on the Rays, I think.
We have been, absolutely, we have been.
But they find themselves 9-7 through all of it. So a really, really strong weekend for both teams in this area.
Yeah, and we're going to do this kind of in sections, but just talk about the whole weekend, and then we'll get into some of the sound. You're going to hear from John Cooper, some of the incredible moments of this weekend. And when you're talking about the Lightning, as we talked about on the show, I was pinpointing this 3-game stretch because the Lightning had been 1-10-1 against playoff teams the last couple of months. And, and we've kind of talked about them just being bored, waiting for the playoffs to get. They've known they've been in the playoffs probably for a month and a half now. And I just think it's just an experienced group that knows that they have to. You only have so much emotional energy. You only have so much energy. You got to conserve it a little bit as you head to the playoffs. Playoff positioning really in this 1 through 8 in the West, in the East, that is also strong. It really doesn't matter. It's how healthy you are going in and how you're playing going in. And the Lightning could not be playing any better than they're playing right now. Check out this number. In the last 5 games between Hedman, Kucherov, and Stamkos, 43 goals, 13 power play goals, and 30 assists between those 3 guys. I mean, you talk about your players, your great players having to be great. They're being great right now. And the way they won against the Panthers last night, I think, is even more special. I expected it was a 3-3 game, and then Nick Paul does that between the legs thing that he did. My God, what a goal. And that seemed to, I don't know if that did something to the Panthers, but I just thought the fact that the Lightning were so physical and they're bigger and stronger than the Panthers. I was expecting a big push from the Panthers in the third. Didn't get it. Lightning extended their lead. I don't think the Panthers want any part of the Lightning in the playoffs. I think the Lightning proved in this game that when it comes to the playoffs, and there was way too many penalties in this game for my liking, but and it's even going to be accentuated even more when the playoffs come 5-on-5. The Lightning are the better team. Your thoughts?
Yeah, there was a wild game. I put the graphic up here on the screen, as you can see, 22 goals in the last 3 games. Wow. It's just mind-blowing stuff. And against 3 playoff teams, JP. Yep. Against 3 playoff teams, back to back to back. And this one against Florida, that's not a playoff game, I don't think. That's not going to happen.
That many calls, no.
I mean, there had to have been, 5 or 6 power plays each between both teams that night. Wes McCauley was just blowing whatever he wanted to. And like we saw in the Toronto game, it was just like, get it over with. They were sending guys off the ice left and right. But, I don't think the defense was great. Again, you let in 4 goals. Vasilevsky,
that's their average, though.
Yeah, that's their average. The first goal Vasilevsky let in, I'm like, oh, boy.
Yeah, not
that's
good.
That's one he's got to save. But, hey, when you average 6 goals a game or 7 goals, whatever it is, over the last 5 games, I mean, that'll play. Yeah. That'll play. You just got to outscore them, and that's what they did.
And I think it also exposed the fact the Panthers do not have elite goaltending. Knight was not good, but Bobrovsky wasn't much better. And that's still going to be their Achilles heel in the playoffs. Like, I don't want to sit here and just say the Panthers are a bad team. They're not. They're a great team. They're 18 points. But it just seems to me that they're much more built for the regular season than maybe the playoffs. I could be wrong. I know this. I have no qualms playing Toronto in round 1. And then if we have to play Florida in round 2, I don't think the Lightning are outmatched or outgunned in any way in either one of those series. It's just going to be who plays better. I'm not saying here, I'm not here to guarantee the Lightning going to win both of those series. We said it. It's like until we see the Lightning play these playoff teams and play them well, how do we really know that this iteration of the Lightning with the new third line, the new guys coming in, Vasilevsky not being at his best the last month or so, if they're good enough to win a Stanley Cup? I think through the last 3 games, I can confidently say they are. With the core of this team and the new guys and how everybody's fitting in, they're good enough to win another cup. Whether they do it or not is a whole different deal, but I think they've got the horses to do so. Do you agree?
Yeah, I could make the argument that 4 games, Winnipeg, Toronto, Nashville, Florida. Those 4 games, I can make an argument from an offensive standpoint, maybe the best 4 games of the entire year. It's the only 4 games that I think I can tell you honestly, that was the Lightning. Yeah. That was the Lightning. And what's important about that is they proved that at their best against the best competition in the league, they're still number 1. Yeah. Okay. You have to say that they didn't just hang with Toronto or hang with Florida, blew them out of the water.
Yeah.
16-5, 16-5 goal differential in those 2 games against Toronto and Florida. I mean, that's what you needed. And then some. They answered the challenge and more. And to me, I wish the playoffs started tomorrow. I really wish it did.
And I will say this too. And it was especially noticeable on Thursday night in Amalie Arena. I said, wow. This is the jump. This is the attention to detail. This is the focus. This is the intensity of the team we know and love. That's the Lightning. We saw it. We saw it on Saturday night against Nashville. We saw it Sunday. We saw it Sunday as well. So I feel very confident at this team going into the playoffs. I know Belmar didn't play. Pointer didn't play. These guys, I don't know if they're Sorelli didn't play in one of the games. So I don't know if they're resting these guys or just whatever it is. None of it's serious. So I like where the Lightning are at. We'll get to some of the sound and hear from Cooper a little bit later on in the show. Now, the Rays. We saw lots of good stuff, and we'll start with Sunday's game. Shane McClanahan, I've never seen him start a game like that. Clearly, the Red Sox were coming out saying he's going to be filling up the zone. That's first pitch swing, and 9 pitches in, he's down 2-0. But what I loved about McClanahan is he didn't get rattled. He didn't look pissed off. He didn't do anything. He just kept doing what he was doing. For the end of the day, he's gone 7 innings. He's gotten his first win and retired 20 of the last 22 he faced against a very good Boston lineup. That's a great sign from Shane McClanahan. What a masterpiece. And that's honestly, the first 2 games he pitched, he should have had the same fate because he's been great in every one.
Yeah, and 21 swinging strikes, JP. I mean, the stuff.
Wow.
The stuff. I got that for you right here. Only one starter this year has had more in a game so far through about 15 games of the regular season. That's how good his stuff was today. You mentioned going 7 innings. I mean, it's so rare that a Rays pitcher goes 7 innings. And clearly now, 4 starts in for Shane McClanahan, he's stretched out, and it's the limitations are off. If you're good enough, you're going to the 7th inning. Maybe you can go through 8 if he didn't have the start in the first inning. And that's the maturity of Shane McClanahan. Yep. That is the maturity that's coming before our eyes to start off like he did and give up 4 hits in the first inning and make the adjustment and somehow make it through 7, give your offense a chance to come back. And the offense was slow. The offense was no doubt slow, but the theme of this series, when the offense needed to get a hit, they got it.
Rich freaking Hill. Yeah, I mean, he was he was throwing 62-mile-an-hour pitches, 68-mile-an-hour curveballs. The Rays could do anything with him. Thank God they took him out. I mean, I know they didn't want him to go through the lineup 3 times. I get it. But I don't know if the Rays would have got any hits off. I mean, he was just baffling. And I think he was getting squeezed by the umpire a little bit, too. That was a hell of a performance for Rich Hill. I was glad they took him out.
Yeah, and when they took him out, remember, that was the play that changed the game. The bases were loaded with 1 out, and G-Man Choi gets pinch hit or comes in to pinch hit for Taylor Walls. G-Man Choi was the hottest hitter for the Rays the first few series. He was 0 for 11 going into that at bat. 0 for 11, and Kevin Cash went to him early there. I think that was the 5th inning. And if that was last year, we weren't putting the balls in humidors before the game, that's probably a grand slam. But it hits off the wall, and you get the 2 runs in, and then the one that comes in after. Shout out to Kevin Kiermaier later in the game, too, for his hustle, and he'll be a theme of this show. We'll get to him, I'm sure. But those are the things you need to play winning baseball, and the pitching is the one thing you really can't complain about the Rays so far this year. The pitching has been, I mean, they threw a combined no-hitter for crying out loud through 9 innings on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, Sunday's game was a great study in fortitude for Shane McClanahan, going that 7 innings and giving the bullpen a little bit of a rest, because on Saturday they throw a no-hitter for 9 innings. I was watching the game. I was watching at the Lightning game. I'm up at the Chase Club, keep an eye on the hockey game and on the baseball game. I'm like, holy crap, they get a no-hitter through 9. And then the Red Sox break through and score 2. And then their big money man, Trevor Story, makes a huge error. Although, who was it? Dahlback playing first. Did not play that very well at all. I mean, he didn't get to the bag in time and probably should have scooped that. But whatever. Taylor Walls hit it hard and hustled down the line, forced the play. So he gets on, and that leads to KK coming up with just this magical 96-mile-an-hour fastball down the gut, and he puts it out. And wow, for his first ever walk-off at any level, had never had a walk-off home run at any level. And truth be told, well, complete transparency here to the audience. I'm texting you when KK's up, and I'm going, do we not have anybody to pinch hit for this this guy? And you're like, I was thinking the same thing. And about 20 seconds later, he goes yard, makes fools out of both of us, right?
Yeah, what a moment. I'm like watching I'm watching the game at my house with my whole family, and they don't really watch baseball, and they're like, what do you think, Nick? We got a chance here? And I'm like, we got no chance. I was like, you see that batting average? He's hitting 125. He's got like 4 hits this year. I said, it's over. It's over, And then of course he hits a bomb, but I got into it. I'm a fan at the end of the day, and I stood up and I'm like this. I'm like, he did it.
He did it.
I mean, what a moment. And the other thing that we haven't even got to yet, I told the Rays fans, get your ass to the Trop this week, and they did not disappoint. I don't care how many Red Sox fans were there. That was a great atmosphere Friday, Saturday, Sunday, especially on that Saturday game. When Kevin Kiermaier hit that ball out, I say all the time, say what you want about the Trop, but the acoustics in that building when it's rocking and there's a moment like that, it's goosebumps. It was a goosebumps moment for me. And I felt good for Kevin Kiermaier. I did feel good. It's a good moment. He's been struggling. I told you last week, it feels like the fan base has turned on him a little bit. That was a great, great moment for him, and hopefully gets it going.
Well, and that was a big win for this team, and because they lost on Friday, and even though they lost, Wander Franco put on a show. He put on a show all weekend long, but he put on a show. Made a great running catch behind third base, 2 home runs, and then comes up with the bases loaded in the bottom of the 9th, 2 outs, and hits a freaking rocket in the hole at second base, and Story comes up with it, and that ball could have easily got by him, got under his glove, and then you got Wander Franco with a couple of home runs and then walking it off, and but that didn't happen, but close enough. He still is just as remarkable a player and worth even those bull crap prices that Stu's charging this weekend. He's worth every penny. Worth every penny.
That game, I mean, I was saying on Twitter, like, we could start crafting the bust for the Hall of Fame.
Oh my God.
We could start doing it right now. I mean, it's fun. It's fun. The whole baseball's fun thing. Wander's fun. It's fun to do. If you're going to a game, I mean, just to see him, it's worth the price of admission. And the play that I still can't get over the play that he made. I think you touched on it there before the home runs. The play that he made, I mean, running as fast as he can into left field.
Wow.
I mean, we weren't even ever really talking about his defense, but I mean, what I've seen so far, he might be in the Gold Glove consideration, for crying out loud. And he's a true 5-tool player.
The 2 plays he made it short, I think it was on Saturday, coming across the bat behind the bag at second, throwing off balance, originally called safe, overturned out, and then the one that was a rocket shot from Devers, I believe, and that he bobbles up into the air and then probably 5 steps out into the outfield, throws a freaking dart after he collects the ball. I mean, You're just like, holy crap, where did this guy come from? Unbelievable.
Yeah, it was just. It's like it leaves you at a loss of words. Like I'm trying to find words to describe Wander Franco, but his play clearly does that for me. You go by any metric, any number. Here's an analytical stat for all you people out there. I'm not totally opposed to analytics. Here's a stat that's interesting. Like WRC, I'm not sure if you're familiar with that. The wins, runs created stat.
Yeah.
The average hitter in baseball is 100 WRC. 100. That's the average.
Right.
Wander Franco, through 85 games, whatever it is, his WRC is 142. 142. And put that in perspective for you, that's like top 5 in the entire baseball.
That's MVP level. That's MVP level.
Yeah, that's Wander Franco.
Yeah. And he's 21 years old. 21 years old. Welcome to the big leagues, my friend. All right, we're going to take our first break. When we come back, we're going to dig in on the Lightning a little bit more. We'll have some sound from you, from John Cooper. We'll hear some of the goal calls, and there were a lot of them on Sunday. And just, it's so nice to have those rat fans in Florida leaving. All right, back in a little bit. It's literally a matter of life and death. 42% of Americans are considered obese, and being obese made you 3 times more likely to be hospitalized by COVID. So getting in shape is not just about looking better, it's about living much longer. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, they take a very different approach to primary care. It's personalized preventative medicine. Christopher Lugo and his experienced staff are proactive in looking at your issues before they become a problem, encouraging a healthy lifestyle with proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle, building up your immune system, not destroying it with poor nutrition and bad habits. So call for an appointment, maybe change your primary care, and get on a journey back to full health and a happy life. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling. 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Have you purchased a home in the last 10 years and the stucco was starting to come loose from the upstairs portion? Well, that can cause some serious damage that you can't see until it's too late. Is it becoming an eyesore? Have you contacted the builder and just can't get any relief? That's very common here in Florida. So call the law offices of Christopher Palermo. They can help you. Call 813-221-5636. That's 813-221-5636. He's recovered millions for his clients. The law offices of Christopher Palermo at PalermoPA.com. The world economy is in chaos, and mortgage rates are going to go higher in the next few months. Meanwhile, home values are up 24% in some neighborhoods of Tampa Bay. Do not miss this opportunity to refinance your home, get some much-needed cash to handle skyrocketing inflation, and fill up your car. Contact Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services. Even if you've recently refinanced, Scott can make the deal work because he charges no lender fees like the big boys do. He will also shop your loan around to dozens of lenders and get the best rates and terms. Let them compete for your business. The big banks charge huge lending fees. Customer service is simply a phone number with endless wait times. Scott is local and will personally take your call. Here's his cell phone number. Tell him JP said you could call. 813-294-7595. Scott's done over 3,000 loans, including many coaches and athletes. He will answer your calls and concerns and give you workable strategies to be smart with your money. Reduce your payments. It's not just what you make, it's what you keep. 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com.
Coming back at you. Now, more with JP on FanStream Sports. It's only just begun.
All right, welcome back to a Monday edition of the JP Peterson Show. We are brought to you by the law offices of Christopher Palermo. You can reach him at PalermoPA.com. Nick Geddes from Outkick.com joining me. We're going to dig into a little bit on the Lightning as they smoke the freaking stinking Panthers 8-4 down there in a jam-packed Sunrise Mall. Just a great display of we are the champs, you are not. My favorite goal of the game, though, has to go to newly acquired Nick Paul. And here it is.
Kucherov is on his feet, and the Tampa Bay Lightning will kill their 5th power play of the game.
Yeah, Tampa very lucky.
2-on-1, Lightning into the net.
I would say they're lucky for the not call, goes back the other way.
Nick Paul was trying to make a pass, Ryan, and Spencer Knight deflect that into his own net.
All right,
Yeah,
so that was not
the
the highlight reel goal that I was hoping for, because here I am.
You got to let everybody know right now that you're the one running the show today. Remember that?
Yes, I am. As we can tell,
it's now a 5-3 game for Tampa.
All right, so the one that I wanted to play.
We also before we go any further, we can't see your lovely mug either. The private
disaster. It's a disaster. All right, there it went trying to do some fancy stuff and play a goal, and I screwed the whole damn thing up. So there you go. But anyway, Nick Paul goes between the legs, and it was better than the between the legs pass. It was a between the legs backhand over. I think it was Spencer Knight at that point. What a goal! What a goal! I mean, now we got Kucherov playing his best. I think he's got 8 goals in his last 6 games. 5-point night for Kucherov. 4-point night for Stamkos. A Pointer gets a goal on the power play. Everybody's scoring. Everybody and his mother scoring. It's fantastic.
Point hadn't scored since, I think, April 10th. And you saw he kind of looked right up to the heavens. He's like, thank you. He's like, everybody else is scoring except for me. And finally, I get one there on the power play, I believe it was. And Stamkos, I think he's up to 97 points right now. He's going for 100. He is making a push for 100 points, which I don't believe he's ever gotten to. And what a thing. We already talked about his legacy the other day, but what another feather in the cap it would be to get his first 100 season this year. And he looks determined as ever to get there.
I think we did mention it the other day, but when he became the all-time leading scorer, but I think it bears repeating. He's the one who started this whole run, to be quite honest, not only when he was drafted, but when he decided to stay in Tampa Bay, what was it, 5-6 years ago now?
Yeah.
Instead of going to his hometown team, Toronto, for much more money. And that was, that was kind of the tangible sign of what the Lightning had built. Not only had they started to build a winning culture under John Cooper, but with Jeffrey Vinnick, they had become the model franchise in all of sports. ESPN voted them the number 1 sports franchise in North America. So not only was it that he was playing on a great team with a winning culture, but he had an owner that would spare no expense to make this team win. He knew that they were committed. This is the place he wanted to live. The Tampa Bay Lightning fans made it a destination place for players to want to be. And Steven Stamkos put his stamp of approval on that when he signed that contract, and it took less money to do so. And then Hedman took less money. Kucherov took less money. Braden, all of them, all down the line, not by large amounts, but they all bought into the team concept. And I dare say that opened the door for Tom Brady and a lot of other Buccaneers as well. Before Tampa was a joke. Let's be honest. It was a joke of a professional sports town. And now we are freaking Tampa Bay. And I can trace it back to a lot of different things, but I think that signing, that decision by Stamkos to stay here was the I think the impetus to the whole thing. Would you agree?
Yeah. I think he's the most important player in the history of the franchise. And you could argue there are some other guys back in the era before, Marty St. Louis, Vinny LaCavi, whatever you want to say. Obviously, if you go off of just trying to get some success, those two guys are synonymous. But bringing the Lightning to the world-class organization that they are, and 2 Stanley Cups back-to-back, which seldom happens in the salary cap area, and a chance to go for a third, to me, he's the most important player in the entire franchise history. And if you're talking Tampa Bay sports, I don't think he should be lost when it comes to the Mount Rushmore. I think you have to put him on there right away. Absolutely. If you're talking best Bucks, Lightning, Rays, put them all together, he's on there. And by the time his career is over, he might be the best player in the history that this entire region has seen. He might be, because he doesn't look like he's slowing down.
No. And this season has just been an absolute renaissance for this man. I mean, I think we were all, saying, his career is winding down. He's in the twilight of his career. The end of this contract is not going to be friendly to the Lightning. And damn, if he just needed to get healthy. And now we're seeing the best of what these guys can be with Kucherov's playmaking ability, Stamkos's shot making ability, Hedman with the hardest shot and, another 100.4 mile an hour goal in this game. I mean, they are absolutely dynamic and starting to play their best hockey. Their only chink in the armor right now, I think, is defensively. They're still not where they need to be at an elite level, and Vasilevsky's not playing at his elite level that we've seen. But I fully expect to see that in the playoffs.
If anything, for Vasilevsky, he got in there against Toronto, and he got in there against Florida, and the team won the game while he was in the net. End of story. It didn't matter if it looked pretty or not. I wish that against Florida it looked prettier. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
But it's just about confidence and saying I can go out there and I can beat this team. And I think he did make some saves against Florida, honestly. There was some saves that he made that I was like, okay, in a game like that where it was the Wild Wild West and they couldn't stop anything on the other end, he made enough saves, especially with all the power play opportunities. I think he did enough, but you definitely want him to be much better going into the playoffs still. There's still more there for him.
All right, let's check in with the coach, John Cooper, post-game after this incredible run where the Lightning have outscored 3 playoff teams, Nashville, Toronto, and Florida, 22-7.
You don't have the 40 or 50 goal scorer, but you got 10
close,
guys with 17 or more, and you've got 7 guys with 20 or more.
Yeah.
How important is that?
Well, balanced scoring is it's pivotal. And if you want to go anywhere in the playoffs, you need more than just a couple guys scoring. And I know we may not have a 40-goal scorer. We got one guy close, and I'm sure if Cooch played the whole year, he'd be right up there. And if Pointer played the whole year, they might be close. But to see, I look at the guys that have got 20 or more, really close to 20, and it's a big reason for success. And when everybody's contributed, in the end, guys are feeling good about themselves and makes for a better environment. I'll tell you that.
You've obviously been trying to get better defensive play. No even strength goals in the past 2 games. Do you like where this defensive game is starting to round out?
Yeah, well, we need it, and that's the big thing for us. Is if we are going to do anything, we have to look after our own end. And people sit there and say, "Well, you letting in goals, and why? And is the goalie or is it the defense? It's a defensive structure." And as you can see, I love our tandem, and but I don't care who's in net if you're not.
All right, a quick. That was the post Nashville. So
I don't know.
Here's the post Panthers.
It's a season of ebbs and flows. We just went through a stretch where we lost, 1-0 game in Dallas, and we barely scored the game before that. So everybody's like, "Where's the offense?" And well, there it is. Now you're seeing it. But special teams have been helping. There's no question. The power play's feeling it right now. But more importantly, we're getting some goals 5-on-5, and the big thing for us is, it's great scoring, but the bottom line is you just have to score one more than the other team, and to do that, you got to continue to play D, and this is a pretty electrifying opponent, and to it looks like they scored 4, which is we still got to lower that number, but they would they'd punch, we'd counter punch, and in the end we hit them a few more times, and but our attention to detail in the D zone, that's what has to continue to get better.
Is that just the intensity of the game? Is that something you would like to see?
I don't know.
Panthers are 1 for 6 on the
Lightning
power play.
Panthers. I think if last year's playoff series and the amount of times we played them last year is kind of built, the state rivalry. I know people talk about other rivalries, whether it's in Alberta or wherever, but don't turn your back on this one, because this is 2 pretty darn good teams that want to win, and they'll do anything to do it, and you saw that tonight.
13 total penalties in the game. Well, power plays. Bolts were 3 for 7.
Yeah,
1 for
well,
6.
this surely will make it for a better flight. But I think it's, it's just something in even, in our society of growing up and watching teams be able to visit the White House, and now you're going to get to live that experience. So as a group, just to soak it all in and enjoy it, because you never know if you're going to get another chance to do it. And, just to be a part and see, just kind of be in the hollow grounds of American history is going to be fun.
And also, now you play a game on this already. And also can't see what you guys are going to play over the next couple of months.
Hold on, can you get that door, please? Oh, well, all right. What's that? Sorry.
I kind of like to see what you guys are going to try to do the next couple of months, just to go back there and think about postseason and celebrate championships. Can it serve as a springboard?
I don't know. Like, it's 2 years coming now, so we were joke that we had to win it twice to get ourselves in there. But yeah, is that part of the fruits of your labor? There's no question. But our guys are pretty focused. It's a long year, and we've played deep in a lot of hockey games the last couple of years, but we can see the finish line now, but it's, you got to hone your game for what is about to come, and you watch this, and there's penalties and fights and scrums and goals. Playoffs are like on steroids to what we saw tonight. So you got to be ready, and games like this help you.
All right, John Cooper, after 8-4 win over the Florida Panthers, and also talking about heading to the White House, which is pretty cool. That will happen today on Monday. So very interesting times for this particular team, because that kind of came out of nowhere that they got to go, and they were able to schedule it up. I was, as a member of the press and the media and the Lightning organization, I was going to be able to go, but have a previous commitment that I'm going to live up to be at the USF coaches golf tournament. There'll be other times to get to the White House. So, I think there will be. But yeah, you gotta have a commitment. You gotta honor it. And I don't know.
You seem to be really taking it well there.
It's Joe Biden. I'll just say that. Let's just put it what it is. It's Joe Biden.
It's still the White House.
It is the White House. There's no doubt about it. But I'll go another time. So it's all good. A great win for the Lightning, and now they look ahead to Tuesday night. They got, I'm trying to remember who we have
Columbus.
on Tuesday. Yeah, Columbus on Tuesday, and they'll finish out on the road. So Columbus will be the last home game. That'll be our fan appreciation night, so that'll be fun. Grab your tickets for Tuesday night.
And shout out to the Lightning. They spoiled the Panthers as a fan appreciation night as well. If you notice that arena, it was their last home game tonight, and that arena was packed. Which we know doesn't happen. Very rare, but there was a lot of Lightning fans in there. There's a lot of blue. A lot of blue took over, and you send them all home not happy, I don't think. And we did not
scurrying.
I don't think we got our Kodak Yak appearance either, by the way. I know that those are the things that you're looking for during the game. I don't think we got one.
Well, that they're going to bust him out for the playoffs, I'm sure. And he can do his dance moves, his twerk moves up in the luxury box. I think that's perfectly on brand for the Panthers. All right, we'll take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll get to some of the Rays sound as well. Want to relive that moment on Saturday night for Kevin Kiermaier, which was absolutely phenomenal. And we also have another John Romano opinion piece about St. Pete, maybe the best place for the stadium. My Lord, I'll tell you what that's all about, as predicted on this show when we come back. The PGA Tour's Val's Valspar Championship is back in March in 2022, March 14th through the 20th. No, it's right in the middle of the best weather of the year and the last stop on the Florida Swing. The Valspar.
Are you selling your home or refinancing? JP here for Greenleaf Title. You choose the title company, not the realtor, and it makes a difference. You want a reputable company that will make sure your title is safe and secure. There are a lot of scammers out there right now. So go with a trusted company like Greenleaf Title. Plus, they will close anywhere, folks, and they will send a limo to pick you up to come to the closing. Yep, the great JP Limo Closing is back. All you got to do is give them a call at 727-258-6005 or go to greenleaftitle.com. We'll set up the limo for you. They'll come pick you up. Heck, we even picked up one couple, took them to Black Rock Restaurant, one of our favorite advertisers, and then to the closing. That's how they do it at Greenleaf Title. Great service. We'll close anywhere. The lowest fees in the business. 727-258-6005 or go to greenleaftitle.com. That's greenleaftitle.com.
March Madness has come to the Gold and Diamond Source. Did you know the Aquamarine is the birthstone of the month? And the Emily collection has some great unique pieces. It's designed to be affordable, unique, stylish gold and diamond jewelry. The Julieve collection is Julie and Steve Weintraub's exclusive, one-of-a-kind, award-winning collection of the world's finest diamonds and rare fine gemstone jewelry. Don't forget, they have 0% financing and the Diamond Savings Account, where your diamond never loses its value. You can upgrade at any time and get 100% of its value towards a new purchase. Do you have any old jewelry, broken jewelry, just lying around? Well, bring it in and get top dollar and get even more value if you use that money to buy something new or just take the cash. Shop local with the folks who support our community in so many charitable endeavors. It's the Golden Diamond Source, just a short 15-minute ride from Tampa, just over the bridge on Ulmerton Road. Always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. The health professionals at Bay Area Modern Medical Center want you to know it's time to commit to a new healthy lifestyle. It's literally a matter of life and death. 42% of Americans are considered obese, and being obese made you 3 times more likely to be hospitalized by COVID. So getting in shape is not just about looking better, it's about living much longer. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, they take a very different approach to primary care. It's personalized, preventative medicine. Christopher Lugo and his experienced staff are proactive in looking at your issues before they become a problem, encouraging a healthy lifestyle with proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle, building up your immune system, not destroying it with poor nutrition and bad habits. So call for an appointment, maybe change your primary care, and get on a journey back to full health and a happy life. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling. 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show with JP on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the law offices of Christopher Palermo. We're only going to do an hour today because I'll be have to go MC the USF football coaches golf tournament, Jeff Scott tournament. So we'll be out there and hopefully get Jeff on the show this week. And by the way, played in a golf tournament this weekend. Another one for New Leaps. It is a special needs center for kids in Wesley Chapel. Also, Heroes Mile was one of the sponsors. They're a helping veterans group, helping guys assimilate back into everyday life that have come from war zones or ended their time in the military. So a couple of great charity groups that we were able to give some exposure to this weekend. A lot of fun. And won the long drive contest. Did that slip out? I'm sorry. Did I say that?
No. So nobody drove it past 150, I gather, huh? Nobody.
I got that one good, partner. I got that one good. That's all I can say. And there were a few real athletes in the group. Kevin House was there. A couple Major League Baseball players played in it. Who else was there? James Jones, former NFL player. So had some studs out there, but that's the new swing I've been working on.
How are the injuries? How are the injuries holding up? That's what I mean. You pulled a quad and a groin and a hip or whatever.
My last swing
8 times at Sluggers. What did this do to you?
My last swing, I hit it about 50 yards left of the green into a condo patio, and the ball ricocheted down and up like ching, 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 like 5 times. Never done that. Thankfully, there was nobody living there or nobody staying there. Thank God. I could have killed somebody. It was only 50 yards offline. That's all. But I digress. All right. Want to get into some of the great sound from this weekend, courtesy of Bally Sports Sun. Saturday night, the Rays are down to their last strike, and that was the no hitter for 9 innings. They lose the lead 2-1, and Kiermaier comes up with 2 outs, 1 on.
Catch the JP Peterson Show Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern.
I built that whole thing up so well, too. And here we go. The hero, Kevin Kiermaier.
3-1. And a shot back into right field. Brandon's going to go back. Gone! Home run! Rays win it! An unbelievable finish. Kiermaier homers and the Rays win it 3-2. Do you believe this? Wow! An unbelievable moment at Tropicana Field. Here's the home run.
Well, Kevin Kiermaier in the 3-1 count was just selling out for the fastball, and that's exactly what he got, and he knew it. Untrusted around the base pass.
Wow, what a moment for Kevin Kiermaier. How fun was that for Rays fans to watch that? That was outstanding. And I guess your whole family watched it, huh?
Yeah, they got to see the whole thing. They're the kind of, and like I said, they haven't been able to watch any of the games.
For some reason. Hold on. Why do I not have your audio up? Not sure. Well, there's that. Let's try it again.
You got me now? You got me?
I've lost your audio for some reason. I don't know why I don't have your audio. Anyway, we'll try to get that back here in just a second. So that was not the only highlight of the weekend, as the Rays walked that one off. That was one of the walk-offs of the weekend, and Wander Franco doing what he does. This is one of his many incredible plays from this past weekend. We'll try to get this one on as well. Wander Franco, one of his many plays from this weekend.
Sharply hit. One hot knocked down, recovered by Franco. He got it! Oh, my! What a job by Franco.
That ball with great top spin. Tough to begin with. He knocked it down, then recovered, and then made the play. Wow.
It's every night. Well, a great job of staying with it. That ball well struck off the thumb of the glove, but he keeps it up in the air, keeps it alive. And now you've got to turn and throw, and I mean,
look at Vasquez going, "What's up?"
Yeah, and Javi Guerra, really?
Going, that's what's up.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, that was without a doubt a hell of a weekend for him, and also had a couple of home runs on Friday as well, and almost had the game-winning home run and a walk-off on Friday, which would have given the Rays a sweep. Do we have you back, Nick?
You got me?
We'll try your audio again. No audio on that end. I'll try it again. Nope. Nothing coming through.
You got me?
That I can hear. Tell you what we'll do. We're going to take a quick break here. We'll come back on the other side. We'll try to fix this, and then we'll finish it up. I got definitely have some a couple of thoughts on the article that John Romano
catch the JP Peterson.
That John Romano penned this past weekend, and we'll get to that when we come back. Modern Medical Center want you to know it's time to commit to a new healthy lifestyle. It's literally a matter of life and death. 42% of Americans are considered obese, and being obese made you 3 times more likely to be hospitalized by COVID. So getting in shape is not just about looking better, it's about living much longer. At Bay Area Modern Medical Center, they take a very different approach to primary care. It's personalized, preventative medicine. Christopher Lugo and his experienced staff are proactive in looking at your issues before they become a problem, encouraging a healthy lifestyle with proper diet, supplements, and exercise to optimize your active lifestyle. Building up your immune system, not destroying it with poor nutrition and bad habits. So call for an appointment, maybe change your primary care, and get on a journey back to full health and a happy life. Call 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. Tell them JP sent you for priority scheduling. 844-977-3477 or go to BAMMC.com. March Madness has come to the Gold and Diamond Source. Did you know the Aquamarine is the birthstone of the month, and the Emily collection has some great unique pieces. It's designed to be affordable, unique, stylish gold and diamond jewelry. The Julieve collection is Julie and Steve Weintraub's exclusive, one-of-a-kind, award-winning collection of the world's finest diamonds and rare fine gemstone jewelry. Don't forget, they have 0% financing and the Diamond Savings Account, where your diamond never loses its value. You can upgrade at any time and get 100% of its value towards a new purchase. Do you have any old jewelry, broken jewelry, just lying around? Well, bring it in and get top dollar and get even more value if you use that money to buy something new or just take the cash. Shop local with the folks who support our community in so many charitable endeavors. It's the Golden Diamond Source, just a short 15-minute ride from Tampa, just over the bridge on Ulmerton Road. Always online at thegoldendiamondsource.com. Have you purchased a home in the last 10 years and the stucco is starting to come loose from the upstairs portion? Well, that can cause some serious damage that you can't see until it's too late. Is it becoming an eyesore? Have you contacted the builder and just can't get any relief? That's very common here in Florida. So call the law offices of Christopher Palermo. They can help you. Call 813-221-5636. That's 813-221-5636. He's recovered millions for his clients. The law offices of Christopher Palermo at PalermoPA.com. The world economy is in chaos and mortgage rates are going to go higher in the next few months. Meanwhile, home values are up 24% in some neighborhoods of Tampa Bay. Do not miss this opportunity to refinance your home. Get some much-needed cash to handle skyrocketing inflation and fill up your car. Contact Scott Fitzgerald at American Mortgage Services. Even if you've recently refinanced, Scott can make the deal work because he charges no lender fees like the big boys do. He will also shop your loan around to dozens of lenders and get the best rates and terms. Let them compete for your business. The big banks charge huge lending fees. Customer service is simply a phone number with endless wait times. Scott is local and will personally take your call. Here's his cell phone number. Tell him JP said you could call. 813-294-7595. Scott's done over 3,000 loans, including many coaches and athletes. He will answer your calls and concerns and give you workable strategies to be smart with your money. Reduce your payments. It's not just what you make, it's what you keep. 813-294-7595 or email him at scott@amstampa.com.
Coming back at you.
Now, more with JP on FanStream Sports. It's only just begun.
Welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the law offices of Christopher Palermo. Having some major issues here, but I think I got it all figured out, so we'll be good the rest of the show. I have Nick Gaddis. Do I have you back?
Yeah, I was providing the camera.
Yeah. God, this is so hard to do by yourself. And you're trying to be a host and produce the show. Not easy, especially a brain as feeble as mine. I want to get to a couple other things, Rays related. John Romano wrote a piece this past weekend entitled, "Is it possible the new favorite for a Rays stadium is the same old site? Financing and land have always been easier to find at Tropicana Field site. After years of fruitless searches, it could be a default answer." Well, Nick, I think we kind of predicted this after the Sister City thing went down. And here comes the planted media St. Pete Times story of, hey, why don't you write a story about how great Tropicana Field site would be for the stadium? That would be great. And Mayor Ken Welch can be part of it because, he wants to keep the Rays here as well, or at least getting into it. And there are a bunch of quotes in here from Mayor Welch. Basically, it's this piece that completely ignores what a horrible location the Trop site is. It doesn't mention anything about 670,000 people being within a 30-minute drive of Tropicana Field site and 2.4 million being within a 30-minute drive of downtown Tampa in when this thing will finally be built in 2027. It mentions nothing about the $500 million that Stu allegedly has in his new holding company that's from the Rays, from the money he's made from the Rays. Mentions nothing about the lawsuit. Mentions nothing about actually doing deals with somebody who's being twice now been sued by his partners. Nothing negative about Stu whatsoever in this entire piece. And certainly those are all pertinent things that should be in there. But it does say, the attendance has been underwhelming, blah, 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 but doesn't really mention all those other things. It says, yes, the Pinellas has more money, but Ken Welch is saying that they're looking at coming up with $600 million. And the other part of it that they don't mention at all is, well, they do mention it, but they don't make the point, is that, St. Pete would be so much better off not wasting whether it be $600 million, because you're just implying that Stu's going to pay half for a stadium in St. Petersburg. I don't think that's even close to true. You're not mentioning the fact that if you build a convention center on those same grounds and also affordable housing, replenish the black neighborhoods that were torn down for Tropicana Field, all these positive things that the voters of St. Petersburg, I think, would much rather have than spending, $1 billion on a baseball stadium that's nobody's going to go to because of the location. It just seems so foolhardy. And the fact that Romano continues to write this, and I think, this is exactly what the Rays want. They want to, as we predicted, they're going to play St. Pete against Tampa and try to get a better deal in Tampa, because they're actively working with the folks in Tampa now to find a solution for the roof, whatever the roof solution is going to be, so they can finally get to a number and know what it's going to take in Tampa. And there's also this complete false narrative that Tampa doesn't have any money that I continue to hear over and over and over again when we talk to Ken Hagan, who is actively involved in these negotiations, not people on Twitter that know nothing about what they're talking about, that continue to say that Hillsborough County has no money, which is ridiculous. I asked Ken point blank, do you guys have the money to reach half a stadium? And he said, yes, absolutely we do. We're still working on exactly how it's going to be done, but the money is there, and we have to just make sure that it's not coming from, the general fund, which, is for schools and police and all those, and roads and bridges and all those things that we need. So again, this is just elongating the process, pitting one city against another when he should just focus on Tampa. It's just disheartening that the Times continues to put out more and more false narratives like they did on the Sister City plan. And of course, we all knew that was a complete negotiating ploy. Did nothing. I'm disheartened to read this piece. What's your reaction, Nick?
Yeah, it's more the same, that we come to expect at this point. And we know what the issues are. We've been over this so many times. Right. And the site itself, and I'm probably more of a Trop fan than most, I'd probably say. But that still doesn't change the fact that the site sucks. The site sucks.
Yeah,
it does. And the more that I've spent time around St. Pete, and I've been down that downtown area, and I've kind of observed what's there and the vibe, the baseball stadium sitting in the middle of it all just seems out of place.
Yeah.
And I guess I didn't take that into consideration, because I kept saying, there's that great downtown district behind it.
Yeah.
And all these great things to the side of it. Like, I think the whole notion that it's plopped in the middle of nowhere has kind of been, I think that's a little overblown. There's plenty of stuff around there.
Well, St. Pete has grown that way. It continue to grow that way. Yeah.
But not in the way, I think the demographic, I just don't think the demographics a baseball fan.
No.
If that makes sense. I just don't get that feel. I'm around some of those places down there. I'll put it like this: the people that are going to Bacon Bitch down there are not going to Rays baseball games later in the day. That's just the way I can put it. Clearly, the people that are going to the pier and that are going to the bars that are down there, which are very nice, they're not going to the Rays games.
Right.
Clearly, I think we've established that. So that's to me, that's what it comes down to. And I didn't take that into consideration until you actually go down there and you kind of you think to yourself, damn, that stadium's just sitting there and it just feels like it just doesn't fit. It just doesn't fit.
Yeah, I totally, and it's backed up. I mean, the Rays sell more tickets in Hillsborough County than they do in Pinellas County, and the stadium is in Pinellas County. I mean, what more do you need to know? The people of Pinellas County aren't interested in going to a baseball game. You think they're interested in paying $600 million to $1 billion for a new baseball stadium when they could have a convention center and affordable housing and all these other things that they need in that area? Plus, your constituents, Ken Welch, can still go to Rays games across the bay. It's not like you're moving them out to Nashville and you're losing the team. You're not losing the team. You're doing something that's way more beneficial for your constituents in Pinellas County, and you're avoiding spending $1 billion on a failed location. I mean, that's a big ass risk to take. Sure, you have the bed tax money to do it, but does that make it a good idea? If you're to build this, I mean, look what the Marlins did. They built a beautiful stadium in a terrible location, and it hasn't affected their attendance. It's still terrible. You want to make the same mistake here in St. Petersburg? Really? It's a lot. That's a big money mistake. Just to say that you're still a, quote, major league town. You are a major league town. St. Petersburg has one of the greatest downtowns in the world and the greatest beaches in the world. You don't need a baseball stadium for tourism. You don't need it for anything. It's just, honestly, for St. Petersburg, it's just more of a status thing, I think, to keep the Rays there. Because you cannot make the argument from a political standpoint that this is beneficial to the constituents. I don't agree with it.
Furthermore, why would Rob Manfred sign off on a stadium?
He's not going to.
Because I know you don't really care for the Trop much. I'm sure there's a portion of this fan base that doesn't either. I wouldn't say that's the number one reason why people are not going to the Rays games. I would not say that's my first reason if I had to conjure up all the reasons why people don't go. Would you agree?
What, the Trop itself?
That it's the Trop itself, the inside.
No, that's not the number one reason. No, the number one reason is location.
Yeah, that's not stopping, to me, the large amount of people that are not going to games from going. So what is building a beautiful ballpark in St. Pete really accomplishing? And Nothing. It doesn't matter if you put it right off the bridge or wherever you want to put it. It just still, for whatever reason, you're never going to get over that body of water. That body of water it might as well be hell, to be honest, for some people. I mean, seriously, that's kind of what it is.
I agree. It's just, throwing good money after bad. It's not a good idea. There's so much. I don't want to go piece by piece in this particular piece, but it's just continuing this false narrative that in some way St. Petersburg is a workable solution because they have the money to build it and the land to build it. So does Tampa. This thing, and here's the worst part about it is, this thing would have been built. We would have been playing this weekend in that stadium had Stu just stepped up and paid half, which at that time, by the way, was about $400. Depending on where the naming rights money goes to, because $200 million is what people legitimately believe that this stadium will be, in terms of naming rights, will get over the life of the stadium. Probably more than $200 million, but that's a low estimate. And you get 300 on one side, 300 on the other, and boom, you're there. 350, boom, you're there. So that's where it could have been. We could have been in that stadium this week going to the entertainment district, but alas, we're not. A couple other quick things I want to get in. By the way, did you see the Yankee fans throwing full 18-ounce beer cans down on Oscar Mercado, a local guy here, and the Guardians outfielders? Just reprehensible behavior by Yankee fans. Just awful this past weekend.
I saw Miles Straw. He looked like he jumped up into the stands. I thought we were going to have a Mike Milbury situation going on again. I thought we were going to have maybe not some skates, but some gloves being thrown at fans. I don't know. I'm down for it, to be honest with you. I'm not going to have some crazy, despicable New York fans, whatever.
You're okay with throwing 18-ounce full beer cans down on players?
Hey, that's heat, brother. That's heat. In the world of pro wrestling, when you're a heel, if you go out there and they're throwing beer,
dude, that could seriously injure somebody. That could seriously injure somebody.
Heat. That's heat.
That's dumbass fans doing dumbass things. Bruce Arians had his event last night at Innisbrook. They're playing golf there today. But he did talk with the media, and just want to remind everybody, Tom was not there, but he did send him a picture Sunday. Then he got a present for me, a $50,000 watch. He says he's bringing it to me. Who does that if we hate each other? As soon as he's back in town, we'll play golf. It's the narrative of them not getting along is quote, it's never going to go away no matter what anyone says. Arian said it's a national narrative that they think they know, but they don't know. He also said he thought about retiring after they won Super Bowl 55. Said I couldn't guarantee who would get the job. I thought I'd guarantee it in Arizona, and it didn't happen. 5 guys didn't have jobs. This way I guarantee 31 families they're taken care of. That was big for me and for his wife. So good on Bruce Arians, and he looks great, by the way. He's lost a lot of weight and looks really, really good, and good for him.
You're telling me that Tom Brady wasn't there tonight? He wasn't there?
He was not.
Oh shit. We have our front page headline now. We have our front page headline now. Let's start writing it. Tom Brady was going to be traded for a 2nd-round pick, and Sean Payton was joined. Let's just write it all tomorrow. That's the headline.
And the $50,000 watch.
Didn't matter. No.
Didn't matter, right? that was the payoff price to send him upstairs. I'm sure that's going to be the narrative from Mike Florio on this one.
To go 2 doors down. To go 2 doors down at $1.
Right, exactly. That'll be it. Whatever. So they'll be playing golf out there. There'll be some player availability. I don't know if Brady's coming for the golf event today, but we'll see. All right. Sorry for all the technical difficulties from your brain dead host here, but it's the best. It's the best I can do. Only 1 hour show today. We'll be back on Tuesday with the usual 2-hour show. Scott Reynolds going to join us to talk some Bucks draft, as we'll be about 48 hours away from draft at that point. So, Nick Gaddis, good job, my friend. Appreciate you coming on. That'll do it for this show as I try to get the bumper bed. I shouldn't even try to do this. I'm sure I'll screw this up, but maybe we'll get it done. Whatever. Have a great day, everybody. We'll talk to you.